Welcome everyone to this explainer. Today, we're doing something a little bit different. We are stepping away from the typical financial math and the endless spreadsheets to tackle a raw, deeply confessional reality check. We're going to look at the true emotional weight of early retirement. So many people aggressively chase this dream of leaving the workplace, but honestly, very few are actually prepared for the massive psychological shock that hits them the very next day.
Okay, let's dive right into this. Just imagine spending years obsessively tracking your net worth. You project your withdrawal rates, you optimize your investments, and you literally cross the days off a calendar just waiting for that triumphant moment to finally escape the cubicle. But, and here's the kicker, nobody warns you about what actually happens the Monday after you quit your job at 47 years old. The math is done, sure, but the emotional journey, that has barely even begun.
For so many folks chasing FIRE, the goal is often tied to this big, shiny, round number, like hitting that $1 million mark. You kind of expect a laser light show when you cross the finish line, right? You expect this euphoric wave of absolute freedom. But reaching that number is often incredibly underwhelming. Instead of a massive celebration, it feels way more like the paperwork of closing on a house. It's just a quiet realization of all the hard work that still lies ahead. We've all heard the myth that we'll just immediately sail off into the sunset, but reality is a whole lot messier. When the actual retirement date arrived for the creator in our source material, he didn't just walk out. He actually voluntarily extended his employment for 3 months. Why? Because the world was right in the middle of a global crisis, he was on a leadership team, and he felt a really profound sense of responsibility to finish the project he'd signed up for. The idealized escape almost never matches the messy reality of human obligation. So stop and think about this for a second. We spend decades plotting our escape from the 9 to 5. We daydream about the exact words we're going to use when we finally quit. But how many of us spend even a single minute planning what we will actually do on day 2? This is a massive blind spot, and it sets the stage for a seriously jarring psychological shock. That lack of planning leads us directly into Section 1, the cocktail party trap and the reality of losing validation. That cocktail party scenario perfectly captures the exact moment the identity crisis hits. Society trains us from childhood to tie our self-worth to our job titles. You're at a party, and the very first question is always, "So, what do you do for a living?" Replying with a comfortable societal norm like "I'm a VP of marketing" feels completely safe. But the awkward reality of saying, "I retired in my 40s?" That totally changes the room. It often breeds contempt, jealousy, and that dreaded sarcastic response, "Wow, must be nice." Because of this, a lot of early retirees actually find themselves lying, just claiming they're consultants to avoid the weirdness altogether. But honestly, the external judgment isn't even the hardest part. It's the internal void. During those first 6 months of early retirement, our creator found himself becoming incredibly irritable. And he realized something pretty profound. He didn't actually miss the work of his corporate job. He missed the human connection. He missed the daily interactions with people, that tangible feeling of accomplishment, and the deep satisfaction of mentoring younger employees. Which brings us to a brutal reality check. If your job title vanished tomorrow, would you even know who you are? Seriously, think about the absolute best day you've had in the last 6 months. Did it involve your professional title, or did it involve the people you love? If your entire life's mission is just to accumulate index funds so you can run away from a job, you are going to be miserable. You have to fix your metric for success and know exactly what you are running toward. So how do we actually prepare for this? We need an actionable framework. Let's look at Section 2, the intangibles audit, and replacing those benefits. Now, what's absolutely crucial here is that everyone must complete this exercise before handing in their 2 weeks' notice. You have to sit down and do a non-financial audit. You literally need to explicitly identify where your socialization, your validation, and your mentorship are going to come from once that workplace is gone. You are leaving behind powerful emotions and benefits, and if you don't plan to replace them, you are walking straight into a trap. Let's map this out to see how it builds into a totally predictable psychological pattern. Sociologist Robert Atchley laid out the phases of retirement, and pretty much everyone experiences the exact same trajectory. Day 1 is the honeymoon phase. It's fresh, it's exciting. But right around month 6, boom, there is a sudden, inevitable emotional crash of disillusionment when the sheer novelty of freedom finally wears off. By year 1, the only way forward is to actively engineer a brand new life for yourself. So here is exactly how you engineer that new life. The workplace provides forced socialization. So when you leave, you have to build a community entirely from scratch.
Our creator did this by starting a local homebrewing club and getting involved in civic organizations. As for validation and learning, he treated his curiosities like a full-time job. He spent months studying for and actually passing the Part 107 commercial drone pilot exam. And the craziest part? He had no desire to start a drone business. He just found profound personal fulfillment in learning how to read aviation sectional charts.
Building on that idea of engineering your life, let's transition into Section 3, embracing the fun job and dropping your ego.
Think about this for a second. Would you rather keep a fancy VP title working 60 grueling hours a week or become a minimum wage wine pourer working just 1 day a week? After a 23-year career in biotech, our creator chose the wine pouring job. It had absolutely nothing to do with his previous career, and he definitely didn't do it for the money. He did it strictly for the social connection. It was a way to get out of the house and just enjoy interacting with the public in a super low-stakes environment.
Dropping your ego also means learning how to be comfortable with white space. Without the constant grinding pressure of corporate deliverables, you basically have to relearn how to just be. For our creator, this meant taking up extreme urban walking. We're talking massive 20 to 30-mile solo marathon hikes. And the absolute key here? No podcasts, no productivity noise, just wandering in total silence. By stripping away all the constant noise of the modern world, he gave his brain the freedom to generate its absolute best ideas.
But hey, what about the analytical side of the brain? You can't just flip a switch and turn off decades of sharp, strategic thinking. So, to satisfy that itch without jeopardizing his financial foundation, he split his portfolio. 95% remained locked down for long-term family security. But he carved out a 5% cowboy account strictly to learn options trading. It keeps his math brain sharp, it provides a really fun challenge, and it poses zero threat to his actual livelihood.
That brings us to our final phase, Section 4, redefining true wealth, looking beyond the bank.
Looking back on those first 2 years of early retirement, the creator admitted a really hidden, painful truth. His biggest regret wasn't financial at all. It was keeping his identity struggle completely bottled up. He felt this immense sense of guilt, like how could he possibly complain to his family when he was in such a privileged financial position? But we have to recognize that transitioning out of a decades-long career is a massive psychological shock, absolutely regardless of how many commas are in your bank balance.
So here is the absolute most important takeaway from all of this. We have to change our definition of wealth. A massive investment portfolio is really nothing more than stored energy. And that energy is completely, utterly useless unless you actually utilize it to buy back your freedom, chase your purpose, and deepen your relationships. Financial independence is not a final destination. It's simply a waypoint. It's a permission slip that finally allows you to explore who you really are outside of a cubicle.
I want to leave you with this final provocative thought. If money was completely removed from the equation tomorrow, what is the very first weird passion project you would dedicate your time to? Stop tying your worth to a corporate title. Start investing in your hobbies, your community, and your true identity today. Define your success by the joy in your days.